I'm Doc V, and I would once again like to promote my book, The Black Man's Mountain. It seems that we have some more climbing to do up this mountain. I heard a podcast recently, and the name of the podcast was, Should Broke Black Men Date? Should they even bother with dating? And I thought this was very interesting. It seems like most women or black women want to find someone who can finance their desired lifestyle. Now, I understand women want security. And if a man doesn't have a place to stay, he's staying with his mom, he can't hardly pay his rent, he doesn't have good transportation, he doesn't know what meal he's going to eat, I don't think he needs to date anybody. That's just my opinion. But if he's got the basics covered, and he's got food, he's got a comfortable place, he's got a good credit score, and he's doing okay, so what if he can't take you to Cancun every weekend and fly you out to California for tea? What is this where women gauge a man's worth and how much weight he can take off of them and how much he can spread the carpet out and make their lives wonderful and beautiful? I've seen situations where the woman chose a guy just based on what he had. Matter of fact, I remember a sermon years ago when the pastor said, if that man check his shoes out, check the tires on his car. If his tires don't look good, if his shoes look like they're a little bit raggedy, if he looks like he's struggling, if he takes you out to eat to IHOP and he doesn't take you out to the fine restaurant, you need to leave him alone. He's no good for you. And at that time, this was several years ago, about 30 years ago. At that time, that was me. I didn't have any extra money. Sometimes I'd be wondering, should I put gas in the car or should I go and eat over here? So after that point, I really had nothing to listen to with this particular pastor. I know he was sincere and he was trying to help his young ladies in the congregation, but I happen to know that there were some men that I was aware of that had that six-figure salary. They had the BMW, or they had the Audi or the Jaguar, and they were running through women. They were dogging them out. They were going out clubbing and doing all this stuff. But the women were going after them because they had the means. They had the money to improve their lifestyle if you could grab one of them. But me and some of the other brothers that were trying to do right, trying to live right, trying to be what you need to be for God, they were like, okay, that's nice, that's okay, but I need some money, so me and you are not going to make it. So what women don't understand is that the black man in society comes from a different place than any other race in our country. We come from a different place. We're descendants of slavery. Well, we go back farther than that. We go back to the pyramids and to the Old Testament and the Bible, but right now we're just going to talk about recent world history and American history. Once the Emancipation Proclamation was passed and the slaves were free, they were no longer property and they became a threat to the wider society and to white supremacy. It was a threat. So laws started coming out, Jim Crow laws. If a black man is making too much noise, or if he's out in public, or he's being a vagrant, or if he doesn't have a job, lock him back up. And they put them right back on those cotton fields. And then blacks pulled away and started developing their own cities and their own communities. And it started to rival those of the wider society. And that was a threat. So they firebombed them, shot them up. The police and the law, the government had nothing to help them with. Another community started to flourish. Money coming from this community. And they went and they tore down the dam and flooded it and made a resort, a lake out of it. Just look it up. I can go on and on and on. Black babies were kidnapped and made alligator bait to catch crocodiles down in the Florida swamps. Black men were accused of a crime just to get them off the street, and they would be subject to public lynchings where they're sitting there hanging from a rope and burning at the stake, while moms, dads, and children were sitting there eating barbecue chicken, cornbread, baked beans, and rice, while black bodies were sitting there burning. And that was okay. And the law didn't do anything about it. There were some times where whites would become so angry where they would capture a black man, tie him by the neck by chains to the back of a pickup truck, and run him 4 or 5 miles through the town till his body was beat up so bad it was unrecognizable. Black men came from that. Statistics are out about incarceration rates. Blacks being incarcerated, blacks being put in jail, blacks being uneducated, blacks being a menace to society. But they're lies and they're fabrications, because the percentage of blacks that are trying to excel, that are trying to develop things, that are developing patents, that are developing ways of doing things, that are establishing their own, that's most of us, 75, 85, 90%. But no, they want to take that little 5, 10% and grab that and say, look what these blacks are, look what they're doing. What's wrong with them? And it's only just a small percentage. Racism was so prevalent, was so bad. Back in Alabama times, Bear Bryant, he refused to have any black players on his team. And what happened? They were losing, getting destroyed, getting killed, getting beat. So he had to give it up and had to succumb, and he had to recruit some black players. I can go on and on and on, but people don't want to hear about this type of history. All you want to hear about is whites are supreme, and it's wonderful to be this way. And if you're brown or black, you're just we're going to tolerate you and deal with you, but you're of no significance. And this is so far from the truth. Most of the inventions and the things that you enjoy in life are because of the hands of a black person. But I don't want to get into that. I covered that in a previous post. Ladies that are looking for this rich man, did you know that the average salary is about $55,000? That's for black, white, male, female, anybody. Did you know that? And did you know that $100,000 salary is only representative of 10% of the population? Did you know that? Did you know if he's making $250,000, that's only about 5% of the population? And if he's making $300,000 to $400,000, that's 1% of the population. So you got 80% of you women looking for 1% of the men. What are the rest of you all going to do? And this man that's making all this money and doing so well, why is he going to want you when you maybe are not prim and prime like he wants? What if you have 4 children, 2 different baby daddies? What if you're not that movie star size 4, 6, and 8, but you're a size 18 or 22? But you want this man to drop what he's doing and shower you with all his blessings and all his money. Why? What are you doing? You must cooking real good? What are you doing? My point is, and then again, men are guilty also. They want that little lady that's a size 6 and she can cook and she's sweet, she's beautiful, and she has 1 child or no kids and everything's working fine with her. And y'all want that woman, and you walking around with a big beer gut, look like you about 6 months pregnant, and you want this beautiful young woman. Something's wrong. Something's going on. Our goals are unrealistic and idealistic. So what do? Our people need to know our history. We need to know where we come from. And if you see a hard-working black man that is really trying, he's trying to get his education, he's trying to hold it down, trying to get his credit together, trying to better himself so he can get a better job, better income, he's studying at the system and the society and trying to see where he can be a positive contribution to this, that's somebody you need to look at. But no, you got to have a baller. You got to have an NBA basketball star, NFL football player, or somebody who can, sing, and he's a famous actor. The percentage there is so small. It's like hitting a lottery ticket. How many lottery tickets have you purchased in the last 4 or 5 years? How many numbers hit? I tell you, I really think that God has his hands on the lottery tickets, because to me, how in the world could somebody pick 6 magic numbers while the numbers are spinning and falling? How could anybody ever get that? It's just my opinion. I believe that's divine. I believe God decides, okay, we're going to put some money over here. We're going to put some money in Junior Boo Boo's hands. We're going to put some money over here in Carlitha's hands. And we're going to do that. How can you win that? The odds are just astronomical. You got a better chance of beating the champ in the ring. Anyway, getting back, black men and black women. We've got to work together, not be divided, not look for someone to take you out of your misery or to make your life smooth and comfortable. What are you going to do? What is your purpose? Why is the man giving his life and signing his life away to you? What are you going to add to his life? Just going to take, oh, he can pay this. He can take care of this. He can handle that. And I can just sit back and I don't have to do this. And you're just smiling and it's so great. And you're killing him. You're wearing him out because you're trying to have things. And he loves you and he's trying to give you those things, but that comes with a cost. That's about all I have. This podcast was serious. These women were disrespecting these men and saying, y'all just pitiful. Y'all not doing anything. Why don't y'all trying to date a woman? Man wants companionship. We love y'all. We think y'all are beautiful also. But because we can't pay the bills or we can't make you look a certain way and we can't bring you up socioeconomically, then we're just no good. I got a problem with that. Anyway, I'm Doc V. And I'll see you next time.